What if slavery wasn't real?
Ever heard of the Mandela effect? What if we was never slaves and they just went back in time and changed everything to make it seem and look like we were slaves though, right? What if they didn't play these movies in a year and we never watched or knew them? What if we didn't have museums full of slave chains and it wasn't a big ass building full of slave memorabilia or whatever? Why is all these pictures of 100 slaves with machetes in their hand and one white man on a horse controlling everything? Why? Why is there always 200 slaves? 12 white men on horses with shotguns. Why? Why can't they do that right now? Why do they want us to think that not too long ago we were so dumb that we were overtaken and turned into a slave? Why is so many pictures of 20 slaves, one white man? He controlling everything. We've been on Earth for 2 million years. Hunter-gatherers, warriors. We have went to war. And now we wash your clothes and pour your lemonade. How did we get to that? Why do black people say no to that today though? Why do we say, man, I wish President so-and-so would? Why do we say that? We wish Joe Biden would announce we are back in slavery right now. You know why? Because we're not going for that. Why you think our grandmothers and grandfathers was going for that? What if that was a Mandela effect? And just what if...
I don't know if it's in the weed. I don't know if it's in the food. But y'all woke Negroes are starting to sound very, very slow. I'm not understanding. How did we get here? How did we get here? I understand the movement of trying to claim your identity, right? You have these Negroes out here who believe that they have ancestry that goes back to the Americas, that some of their ancestry didn't come over here through ships. That's fine. I'll let you have that. But when you go out of your way to say that slavery was a Mandela effect, when slavery was something that was not only documented, but you can go and visit plantations that used to exist in and this isn't something that just happened in America. It happened in South America. It happened in Mexico. It happened in the Caribbean. So how did we get here? Can we just notify the fact that this man said that they went back in time and made it seem like we were in slavery? Yeah, his parents definitely failed him. No doubt about it. See, this is what happens when you don't teach the next coming generation. All y'all Negroes that were out here talking about, it's in the past. We don't need to tell our kids about what has happened in the past. The parents out there that have failed their children into teaching their children about themselves and about what has happened from ongoing generations. And you thought that feeding them some hoopla about Jesus and just be the best person you could be was the best way out. And now you have these type of Negroes that are being bred. I mean, somebody like Dane Calloway makes one video about questioning the slave ships and y'all run with it. I don't understand what level of stupidity, and I mean that so respectfully, what level of stupidity do you have to be in to say that slavery was a Mandela effect? Like just really conceive that. Like, what state of mind do you have to be in? Like, how psychologically insane do you have to be to say that what your ancestors went through was a Mandela effect? I mean, everything from lynching to butt breaking to watching your kids and your mother and your father being sold off. Like, how is this a Mandela effect? Not to mention the slave dungeons that we can constantly see in West Africa. But that's beyond me, though. And then he goes in and talks about how there was all these slaves and there was only 1 or 2 white men or 10 or 12 white men. Why didn't they rebel? Have you ever heard of the Gullah Wars? Have you ever heard of the Nat Turner Rebellion? Have you ever heard of the many rebellions, not only throughout America, but Mexico? With Gasper, the many rebellions in South America. There were many rebellions, heard and unheard of. But aside from that, you can't use that to discredit slavery, because you also have to understand the mental the mental conditioning that these slaves went through. When you have 80 black people out there producing cotton and working out there, and you only have 10 or 12 white people on a plantation, you have to understand that they were conditioned to see white people as superior. They were conditioned in a sort of manner that this method of enslaving people, this method of enslaving black people to be independent upon their master and white people, this is something that has been going on for hundreds of years. This doesn't just it didn't just pop up out of the blue. This is a level of insanity that was being passed. I mean, when you look at the human zoos that existed in the UK, in Belgium, in Paris, like, this is something that's been going on for a minute. And this level of insanity was passed down to us, and we have been affected by that trauma. Now, I'm not telling you to dwell within that trauma and be out here and protest and all this type of stuff. You're supposed to evolve and become the best you possible. But in order for you to become the best you possible, you have to first know yourself. You're questioning whether or not slavery happened. No other set of people do this, and I hate using this type of rhetoric of argument. The Jews don't question the Holocaust. The Chinese, the Asians, they don't question whether or not they got bombed by America. There's no other set of people that have went out of their way to produce this form of self-hatred other than black people. We have utilized our self-hatred to such a point where we have identified with so many labels other than identifying with our true African ancestry. And you can claim whatever you want to be. I'm not telling you to choose otherwise here or there. Whatever you feel you identify with, that's on you. But when you go out of your way, not only to say that you didn't come from Africa, you don't have any ancestry to Africa, but then you go out of your way to question whether or not what your ancestors went through was true. When you go out of your way to question whether or not we were rebellious, whether or not these people existed or that person exists, like, now we get into a different playing field. Again, I don't even know why I have to break this down, because you have Negroes like this who are expanding. They're given a platform, and I find this so interesting how social media does this. They give the stupidest people with a loud voice a platform and spread out nonsense and misinformation, and the masses and the happy dead will follow. Fickle. I don't understand it. It's clever. It's really clever, because anybody can say anything on social media, especially on Twitter, and it will blow up. And because you have this amount of numbers of followers, or this amount of numbers of likes, or this amount of numbers of comments, that somehow that proves that your comment is irrelevant. But share your thoughts in the comment section below, considering the whole matter's at hand. Make sure that you like the video. Okay, give you time right now to like the video, because it helps with the algorithm and gets this video out to other people. Let's have a conversation about this interesting video. Alright, make sure you like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share this video with other people. Until next time, I'm Tyrone, and I am out.
Yeah, it's just me, myself, and I. Ride it, go low, hit me up, might not reply. Feeling focused, got my optics on the life. And on the prize, you compromise, go suicide. I pay the price, it's just me, myself, and I. Riding dolo, hit me up, might not reply. Feeling focused, got my optics on the life. And on the prize, you compromise, go suicide. I pay the price, hey.